Welcome back to Comments Podcast, where we're going to get into the comments, the real meat, the real gold, the real fruit of the social media world. We're going to cover everything that we can cover. I hope y'all day been productive. I'm not feeling too well. Something's going around. A little bug is going around, but I'm here. I'm here so we can build, we can talk, we can kick it, we can have a discussion about all of them. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot that's going on. It's a lot to be uncovered, to be unpacked. Um, Everything from the Trump appointees to the world, man, to the world. I think from what I've been able to observe, uh, it's really right now Trump got the whole world on lock, basically. Everywhere you turn, it's just all out Trump media. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me make sure that this is pumping on our other platform. So yeah, it's a Trump world. It's a Trump world today, um, and it is. I mean, they even talking about Laura Trump, which is his daughter-in-law, also the co-chair of the RNC, who turned the country red. Now we know that historically, the RNC chairperson has been under a lot of heat prior to Laura Trump moving into that spot as far as a co-chair. And they've been losing. Remember, they had the thing talking about a red wave is coming. It never came. That was hilarious too. It's just talking about it never came. I think what it was for me personally, from having a position within the Oakland County Republican Party as a precinct, duly elected precinct delegate a few years ago, really up into this year. Um, but I've seen the lack of, because remember they had a new chair, Christina Carramo, who ran for Secretary of State, who didn't win, but she ended up winning the chair of the Michigan GOP, and they kicked her out of there. They got her out of there. They got her out of there. I mean, an Asiatic sister, young, speak truth to power wherever she goes. Um, she's in my age group, of course. How long was they going to allow that, right? I say, how long are they? Well, the establishment Republicans, the rhinos, right? It's like, well, no, we got to get our party back. But for the most part, it was a lack of participation as far as invest donors and a lack of investments in the more vulnerable communities. Really, I wouldn't say vulnerable. I would say this: cities or communities that's been voting traditionally Democrat. I felt that was irrelevant because to me, being in the field, being an expert political field person, whether it's door knocking, whether it's poll work, whether it's podcasting, whether it's one-on-ones, meetings, etc. I've developed an expertise from over 20 years of experience in this venue, this political venue. And I didn't share the ideology of not going into hostile communities where it was known this was a Democrat, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It was their post, it was their block, as we would say. It was the block for the Democrat. I go right up in there. I've had a career, multiples, where I would go into these hostile areas and I would turn it into a friendly area, right? It was allies, convert people into allies. So I specialize in converting voters over or converting the mind over to awareness, right? Say, I like that guy. Brother Ill, I like him. He's a very genuine man, and he comes off very authentic. He's not pretending to be. He is what you see he is, and He says what he backs up what he says, and so I specialize in engaging hostile communities. I specialize in going to work under emergency services, right? You don't call me unless it's an emergency. And I said something about it. I said, hey, I called my colleagues up and said, hey, what is this? Where we're not making an investment into a community like the city of Pontiac, which and they said it. They said it out loud. I said, well, they vote a certain way over, every year, and we go off the numbers, right? Which makes sense. I'm not going to pour a bunch of time and money into an area that's already basically taken off the map. And you know how we are, man. Just turned 40 this year. I still am attached to very much so to my youth. And I feel that God presence within me, right? And I look at these challenges and I say, Allah is leading on, victory is sure. And so, but I'm a Cancer too, right? And what does that mean, being a Cancer? My zodiac sign, it's like I want to see the world through my eyes, the way that I see the world, right? That's how I want the world to operate. But we in reality, I got to see the world for what it is too at times. I think I should share that out of respect for not being naive and say, okay, well, I'm not going to let anybody discourage me, right? From seeing the world as this beautiful piece of preciousness that's been given to us by the Most High. However, it's a pretty tough world, right? So there's a balance, and you got to accept the truth for for what it is. So, you know, I've seen it. I've seen people they didn't want to make an investment in Pontiac. They felt like Pontiac was already written off. And I think that's a bad business strategy because even though I know that this area has been traditionally voting Democrats, you gotta go and meet the people because everybody. That's first of all, you got a low voters turnout. I had 44,000 registered voters. You got about roughly, under 10,000 that'll come out and vote, under 6,000 that'll come out and vote in the mayor's election, under 1,000 that'll come out and vote. And it's not a huge, it's not a great turnout. We talk about the turnout to vote every year, but it's never a great turnout. And they unfortunately have been able to control things from that spectrum. And that's what I'm saying. You never know until you engage people and engage a community. And I thought that the Republicans of Oakland County dropped the ball and had a chance to really not have to drop the ball because you got to make a. I mean, these people are intelligent, right? Well, I'm not particularly saying that they're intelligent. I'm saying people that's organized to this degree, they are beholden to some intelligence and wisdom. And and to me, that just wasn't wise. Like I know for a fact, I've seen myself take a voter who was absolutely convinced, multiple votes. In fact, in my last campaign for city council, I ran for like 45, 50 days left on the clock as a write-in. No money, um, no campaign team. It was just all ambition, God, and a need to bring certain information to light, right? And that's kind of like what we're going to talk about tonight. But I wanted to, and so what I was able to do under that time constraint. Imagine I'm under attack. My campaign is being disqualified because they call themselves, they had a glitch, allegedly a glitch, but really it was a cyber attack on our election systems here in the state of Michigan that nobody wants to admit, but we have the evidence too, by the way. Um, but I was under fire, under attack, so it was a lot of different strategies to knock me off my square. But the reality was, I knocked over 4,000 doors, not 4,000, maybe 1,000. Talked to cohorts of people, their concerns, their ideas, their 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 complaints, right? in their message. I ended up bearing that message. And again, I used my ability, but the fact of the matter is, people came to the polls convinced, were already in mind who they were going to vote for. They had months to make this decision. Those voters, most of those, they became my voters. And women lie, men lie numbers. No, I actually won my poll at 168 to 101 and 117. So nobody even came close. Nobody even came close. And these gentlemen had uh, the one gentleman who actually won with the ghost votes. He'd been serving on the school board and had the top Democrats, right, supported him, had a boatload of money, actually gave him my money that I was supposed to get. But nonetheless, I didn't fit the profile for the job, right? Wasn't a, I wasn't. I don't have a husband. I have a wife. I have children. So I represent the traditional nuclear family. I'm an entrepreneur. Um, I'm a philanthropist. So I've invested in my community without receiving a dollar in return. I've never been paid for the job of community service, brick building, community development, uh, political leadership, where I go in to teach the leaders how to be leaders because they don't have the IQ level at this capacity. This is why you've seen such a decline in the city of Pontiac, in its economy, in its community, in its schools, and everything went belly up. It's because these people did not have the educational capacity, and because of that, there was other people that was able to take advantage of them, and where the community got the short end of the stick. And so again, I go into this hostile community knowing that it's a democratic wipeout, and I won my poll. Now they came in with the ghost votes, with the mail-in ballots on 3 write-ins, and for some strange reason they was able to have the same signature on all of the ballots, perfectly written, the same signature. Uh, and so you got to look at all of the moving parts of compromise, right? You had a compromise elect, and we all know this stuff. This stuff is not new. But here's the point: I know for a fact that just because the promotion says this is a Democratic zone, and I know you got the numbers there to show you historical data that says, hey, these people vote this way, but this is a new time of era. Sometimes you have to challenge that data. You got to challenge it. You got to say, wait a minute, I see these numbers, but let me get out into the community and meet the people themselves, myself, have an event or two, or three, or four. See what Trump did? He would have had these big rallies, and everybody's welcome to come, right? And it's the oldest practice in the book where you allow, like I said, but you allow people to be a part of the movement. That's the point of creating a movement. So people can have ownership in the movement, and you'll see people moving because they're part of something bigger than themselves. And that's really what people in this part of the business, we talk about volunteers and people in your campaign, of course they want money, but a lot of people is doing it because they believe in the cause. A lot of people was doing it because a lot of people sign up because they believe in the mission. They believe in the cause. They can share, they can relate to the cause, right? So I just really felt like at that time they dropped the ball, the Republican, the GOP party of Oakland County, and I feel like they should look at that right now and say, well, wait a minute. Moving forward, let's capitalize on that 74% Hispanic males that voted for Trump. Let's capitalize on what was it? 20% of so-called African American males voted for Trump. Let's capitalize on these numbers. Let's increase the numbers. Let's get into these so-called Democratic zones and let's turn them red. Like we gotta start challenging the challenge. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up facts. Do not believe the promotion. Just don't believe the promotion. People don't have time to engage themselves into the political affairs like Brother L do. People got to go to work. People at work right now listening to us, right? People just got off work. People got to take their children to school in the morning. People got to find rides to take their children to school in the morning. So people are dealing with economic issues. Then we got inflation. Then we got a currency border crisis. We got 50 different crises under the current Biden-Harris regime. So, unfortunately, the promotion that you're getting is really propaganda. These people are looking for an opportunity to get out of that current condition that they've been stuck under. And when we don't engage people, you can never find that out because you fail to engage them at the level and at the capacity where they're at. You got it. That's one thing Jesus was great at. Jesus was great at, when I studied Jesus in my Holy Quran, Circle 7, of the Moorish Temple of Mary, he was a master at engaging the lost minds or the conscious minds. It didn't matter. It did not matter. He had a special developed skill to be able to engage people where they're at. The robbers, the criminals, the billionaires, the pastors, the imam, everybody, the farmers, the children. It did not matter. So I got that same mentality, is that, we had a strong development in the streets. It was like we wasn't scared. I played sports my whole life, right? So it's like we are even more excited to play against someone that's been promoted as the top this and top that. Like we get it more excited, more stimulated, from playing against better competition, or what is supposed to be better competition. So I got that same attitude right now, right? Oh, they Democrats? Well, let me go talk to them. They Republicans? Let me talk to them, right? It's like they Christian. I had to listen. I done read multiple campaigns, and I done met everybody. And the first thing that a lot of these faith-based communities, first thing they say to you is, "Do you? I hear everything you said, Brother L. Do you know Jesus?" I say, "Absolutely. That's one of my ancestors." But the point is, you have to. It is funny because I was on this Facebook earlier, and the brother was talking about, does the Moors have an indigenous language? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, well, it's all of the languages are ours. Why not just master the languages of the earth? Like, I think we make it too difficult. And so if I'm in a democratic community, or whatever kind of community, I'm going to get the facts of the attitude of that community, so I understand how to communicate with this community, bro. Sis, it's just pretty much that simple. So if the Uber driver picks me up and I hear his accent, I automatically ask him, what is his nationality? It don't even have to be an accent involved. I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to be simple. Hey, man, what's your nationality? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, man. What's your nationality? And they're going to say, oh, I'm Greek. And I'm going to ask them, well, how do I greet you in your native tongue? That's my pitch. That's my Uber pitch. And it does a great job every single time, right? And we end up building. He or she end up sharing their heritage, their culture, their politics, their economy, and we exchange numbers and we become allies in real time, in real life, right here on so-called U.S. soil. So I didn't understand, that practice from the Oakland County GOP about a year or two ago, when they was talking about the red wave was supposed to come and it never came because we ridn't bring the red wave. We didn't take advantage of people like me that can speak the language of many and leverage that to be able to deliver a message, a message of reasoning, a message of goodwill, a message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Right? We got to take advantage of assets when you got when you're in possession of those assets. And so Laura Trump, she came in and it's levels to the game, right? I'm talking county, they talking national. It's the RNC, right? And the RNC is the national. So they went and did their thing on a national level and it trickled down and it impacted everywhere. They had the right idea and had the right people. And that's the thing about leadership. Leadership is dealing with the brains of the body. So we got to have the right people to generate the right thoughts, to foster the right actions, right? And from the right actions, we get the right results. And the right results came out on November 5th, 2024. And MAGA has taken back the helm of this country. So now we can get things in the right order. Because you got to have law and you got to have order. And that's something that Americans should be screaming at the top of their lungs. I said Americans should be screaming this at the top of their lungs. Law and order. Law and order. That's all you should be saying right now. Law and order. You out of order. You take these politicians who have taken the oath and you hold them to the fire to that oath. And I don't care who it is, the judges, the city councils, the mayors, the state reps, the state senators, the governor, the Michigan police, the county police, all of them. We have to restore law and order. Everybody has gotten out of hand. It's a whole free for all on violating the Constitution, like because they don't have any fear of consequences because there has been no consequences. So hopefully all of this stuff changes under under the new leadership coming in. So let's take a look at a few of these comments on here. Laura Trump is appointed to replace Marco Rubio. It would be one of the greatest chess moves ever. The Senate, the most secretive body of Congress, they do a lot of backroom deals because there are so few of them. It's hard to do anything secretive in the House because many members are ready to tell the people all that happens. Well, these people are mandated reporters, brother. My brother George at Busy Tweets, Behizzy Tweets. Uh, they they need to be telling us everything. That's what their job is, right? Their job is to tell me everything I need to know because Americans have a right to know. But as a senator, Laura Trump will attend all the meetings and know everything they plan against President Trump. Her mere presence will stop them from holding these meetings. She could be the disruptor we need to squash the swamp from the inside. DeSantis has to make this happen. See, I love what they're doing. They are making systematic changes. I love it. I love it. This war, however one do it on this holiday. Oh, this was somebody else. Uh you okay, so I think it'd be great. To be fair, let's see, nailing it as usual. My next point of curiosity is what is DeSantis doing in Italy? Because I can think of a few things. uh and where will he fit in on the chessboard going forward? Oh, that's what he was saying. To be fair, he's doing his job as governor of Florida, working on deals to bring more Italian investment. I read that article. I mean, I think governors around the world, I mean, not around the world, but nationally, or just a second, in the United States, I think governors are figuring out their executive authority on basically on the international level. Hold on just a second. That take me a little sneeze break, so excuse me for that. But to me, what I read from that and what he's doing out there with the popes of Rome and all of them, I think it makes sense for what he's doing because since Florida is the number one producer of yachts in the USA, um, and Italy is basically the number one producer in the world of yachts. So they want to do business, open up uh, a trade office, international trade office for Florida in Italy. So I thought that was brilliant. Be honest with you, because you're a businessman. So what are you doing to help bring drive in to increase revenues into your state? How are you diversifying the economy? How are you empowering the economy? So I just think that he's doing his job, making a case for reelection or whatever he aspired to go and do, and say, look, man, there's no governor that's never done none of this stuff that I'm doing. Right? I'm making Florida not only making it great again, it's been great the whole time, right? I mean, Florida's been through what it's been through, but as a leader, as a business leader, you have a job to do as the governor, as the CEO of the business, and you got to drive in more businesses. So kudos to DeSantis for staying focused because I bet it's a lot easier to stay focused since you got a Trump administration secured. We don't have to worry about the border and all this other stuff, all these different things. That's like governors should have to focus on the growing the state. But if the federal government can't do their job and protect the state from invasion, now the governor's got to do the job that the federal government was doing. This is what we've seen Texas doing. It is costing them a fortune, the taxpayers of Texas, but they got oil in Texas. They like, well, bring it. We got money, baby. We got Saudi money over here in Texas. We got salt money. We got oil. So bring it. We'll build our own wall. I mean, that was the attitude of the Republic of Texas. They've been suing Biden every chance they get. And so you put too much pressure on states and states governments when the federal government is not doing their job, point blank, period. So, when we look at Laura Trump, we say, well, that's intelligent. This whole move that they're talking about is intelligent. Because what did she do? She said, well, look, here's what I did. I just delivered 74 million votes. I did that. She did that. The RNC did that. The leader, her and Trump chief of staff, newly appointed chief of staff, but campaign manager Susie Wise, and these two women. It was more women and more people, but these two particular women did such an excellent job, and she showcased her talent. She said, "Well, look, they haven't been able to deliver. They didn't deliver in 2020, right? They didn't deliver in that congressional election. Well, we're going to deliver a red wave. They did deliver the red wave, but she delivered the red wave. The red wave was delivered under her leadership. So." Now we get to see, because remember, Mark Cuban came out and said Trump is not around any intelligent, strong women, some crap like that. And I think that was more so just to cause some controversy, to be a distraction. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. And from there, we end up seeing, well, this woman here, his daughter-in-law delivered the red wave. So what she did was she also simultaneously she auditioned for a future position in politics. That's what just happened. So that's why you don't. And listen, let me tell you a little secret. Whatever you do, do a great job because people are watching you and your performance, and they're observing your performance and the result of that performance. And you might have an opportunity in the future in another sector, right? So you got to stay focused and do a great job at whatever you commit to, right? You commit to something, do a great job, do the best that you can do, and do better than what you thought you could do, because you never know what other opportunities is you create from that level of focus. And now we're talking about taking her from the RNC co-chair and then putting her as a U.S. senator. That's a But just to have the conversation started is a huge accomplishment for Laura Trump because she's the first. Number one, she's rich. She's very wealthy. Her family's wealthy. She doesn't have to be a part and partial of this movement, but it's family affairs. So you know how it is when you family. No, I'm locked in. What do you need me at? I go down here to be RNC co-chair. I go up here to be U.S. senator because let me tell you something about this. You cannot trust the Senate. Mitch McConnell and the Senate, we see their behavior over the last 4 years. We see their compromise. I see Mitch McConnell shut down on national television. Whole body, his whole robotic body, his AI mind chip, computer chip, shut down on national TV, dog. Come on, dog. I've seen these people attack President Trump, the people's choice. So to attack Trump is to attack the people who voted for him. We voted for him. Why are you attacking us? That's how I take it. Wait a minute. You prosecuting President Trump? Well, you prosecuting me. That means you prosecuting his constituents. There's 74 plus million constituents. And Trump tried to tell us, he said, man, this ain't about me. It's about you. I'm just standing in their way. And that's what they're upset about. They want to take and enslave the American people directly and indirectly. And we got in there and bust all that up. So let's get back to some comments. Let's get back to some more news, too. Let's see what we got here. DC Drano, Trump should appoint Gold Star mom Tina Peters to the CISA, so he can investigate election cybersecurity. Excuse me. I don't know, Tina Peters. At this point, is he trying to say CIA or CISA? Either way, I'll take it. Yes, she's in Colorado State Prison for the crime of exposing Gina Griswold election fraud machinery, but it's worth having her. Navy SEAL, it's worth having her. Navy SEAL son died defending our country. Tina also fought to defend her country from tyranny, and now she may die in prison. I don't get it. Why is she in prison? The entire case for me personally is the clearest cut example of what tyrannical government is capable of if you speak up against Bolshevik regime and every single mother from every walk of life that dwells in the nation needs to know what they are capable of. Let's see. I am your retribution. That's right, Trump. This woman needs to be pardoned immediately. Daniel, what is it? Shares his personal story. They ain't really talking about too much. In there. Let's get out of here. Not a single one of Trump's cabinets is black or trans. Is this really the America you want to live in? Everything ain't about DEI, baby. Well, we know Lindsey Graham, the warmonger. Let's see what Candace Owens talking about. So it says, I got Elon Musk too. No, I like them,
employees to make them available to the private management teams of their businesses are extremely optimistic. Even those that have voted against Trump are excited about what's going to happen with the economy. So I think we're going to have a big economic boom, and actually freeing up a meaningful number of government employees to make them available to the private sector will actually help manage the potential for inflation. So the cost cutting is one thing, but making the government more efficient on regulatory approvals. You think about how difficult it is in America to build a bridge, a highway, a house, and the faster, if you can accelerate construction, obviously that has a huge impact on infrastructure, the fluidity of the economy, driving demand, and actually, I think freeing up government workers to step into some of these roles that will be created will actually help the economy manage through this period.
It could really change their lives too for the better. It'd be so exciting to work for one of these innovative companies, hiring new blood. These people have been stuck in these concrete jungles in the circles of DC, and maybe it's a new leap for them too. You wrote in that X post to which I referred, and you mentioned that merger and acquisition activity is about to explode. Do you think so?
Yes. So the Biden administration has been, and Lena Khan, who's led the FTC, very anti sort of merger. And the result of that is, many of the startups in our country don't get to a scale where they can go public. They have to be basically sold. And if you don't allow the Facebooks and the Googles and the other companies to make acquisitions, these businesses eventually either run out of capital or run out of opportunity. And there are a lot of big companies where meaningful synergies can be created when one business buys another. But if you can't do a deal, you have to sort of put it on hold. And sort of the antitrust environment in the last 4 years was one in which you wouldn't even try to do a transaction. I think that's going to change. And so there's sort of a long list of transactions that are waiting to happen in the event.
Okay. Go to the comments here.
Teams of their businesses are extremely optimistic.
See where you at in the comments. You said dog with hat. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the name? Billions. While Musk has extensive experience in the private sector, some may question whether he had necessary understanding of public administration and the complexities of government operation running it. Well, it sounds good, but the government's been a private organization for many of years now. So what's the difference? I could think of a better person in public eye who's better suited for something like this. Yeah, whatever. What else we got? Keep going, Elon. How do y'all feel about Elon Musk, though? I think Elon Musk, that's kind of crazy how he stepped in. But to be honest with you, me personally, I just couldn't imagine Elon Musk or any person like that to be talking about some democratic nothing, unless they've been making some money out of the deal. And I just couldn't. I mean, these people going after, it's just like if I got Elon Musk in my corner, I feel real good right now. And obviously, he with the squad, so I do got Elon Musk in my corner. Hold on. For the record, we got the most wealthiest, powerfulest people and on our side in the Trump administration, the people's administration. Let's get this clear. we sit here, we have big parties. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. But let's get back in here. Think about it, I got Elon Musk on my team. Where can I go wrong at? We got rocket ships coming back down in its proper order, reattaching to the hookup. We got stuff going on right now. And I know what Elon was doing. He was, those governments in China and everywhere else, they was talking crap to the good brother Elon. California was talking crap. Everybody moved to Texas. And Elon said, you know what? I got something for all of y'all. Now I am the U.S. government. Now you got to deal with what I'm talking about. No more having to deal with what y'all talking about on y'all government terms. Man, I got the power of the United States government. What's up? And the United States government got Elon power. They got the power of X, the power of all of his, inventions and the work and the projects that he's doing with. Oh man, it's a beautiful thing right now. And we're going to get into it, but it was $516 billion that they just exposed that's going to 1,200 programs that no longer exist, dog. Somebody got to talk to me about that. So kudos to the government, the Department of Government Efficiency. Let's see. Here's what the U.S. government wasted $900 billion of your tax dollars on 2023. Biden, Barbie doll photo used to get COVID PPP funds. The portion of 800. Is that 800B? What was this right here? in the red. Interest on our national debt is expensive. Dr. Fauci's monkey's business or NIH Monkey's Island. 33. Like 33. Fauci Fauci was doing his thing, man. We so happy Fauci excuse my life. We so happy Fauci gone. Fauci was doing his thing, man. He was doing his thing against the American people, man. Look at what man say. This has to stop. I want a taxpayer refund for all this fraud, abuse, and waste. At my baby JTC53 and then aliens at I ain't about to pronounce all that. Okay. What this is really telling me is that we need to stop abusing monkeys. The Whoopsie took me out crazy. Department of Government Efficiency. I don't see you mention how much the U.S. government has supported Ukraine in the period of 2021-23. Actually, that's funny because I was just looking for that. These cowards. Actually, let me go to the front of my hookup. Hold on. These cowards. I'm calling them cowards. Okay. I'm calling them cowards for a reason. Here we go, right here.
Working to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to effectively defend itself. The United States continues to step up. We've obligated just recently and pushed out the door another $8 billion in security assistance for Ukraine. That was in September. Another almost $500 million just a few weeks ago. And President Biden is committed to making sure that every dollar we have at our disposal will be pushed out the door between now and January 20th.
Cowards. Coward, 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 coward. Let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments, dog. Meanwhile, the people of Western North Carolina and East Tennessee will suffer through a cold, bitter winter without homes while still searching for their dead and no help from FEMA or other government resources. That's my man, Oreo_Speedwagon. Okay, or at 10 Oreo Speedwagon. Let's see what else we got, y'all. This is outrageous. Oh, Doreen says this is outrageous. The hurricane victims are still suffering because their lives and homes were destroyed, and the government has not been willing to give them the necessary resources to recover. Cold weather is coming quickly. How about focusing on them? I'll give you a heart. And then my man's Mike Ray _22. He said this is that Elon and Vivek will be cleared up. Apple Labs at Labs _ Meanwhile, the federal government skips homes devastated by Meanwhile, the federal government skips homes devastated by natural disasters if they support Trump. Oh, okay, I didn't talk about that. And then Christina Bella says, how to say we're laundering taxpayers' money without actually saying we're laundering. I keep screaming this for the life of me. They just found $500 billion to my sister, Christina Bella. I see you conscious because Americans need to wake the heck up. This is called, listen, man. Y'all, okay, taxes is like saying dues to me. So we pay dues. They say dues in more SaaS typical America. We pay. Okay, so what are you doing with my dues, though? What are you doing with the dues? I want an account. I don't see no housing structures. I don't see no school structures. I don't see no agriculture. I don't see no businesses running. Like, what are you doing with the taxes that you are collecting from the members? And we just found out what they're doing with the taxes that they're collecting from the United States citizens. And they money laundering at an all-time high, and they know they're going to prison. Or they know they're going to be prosecuted, investigated, and possibly prosecuted in the near future. So it's like they try to get all their monies put up as high as to the sky, so they have something to fall back on because the gig is up. They fired. They got to find a new job. They can't keep stealing. So they like angry with it. Let's look at dude's face. Look at dude's facial expression.
We're working to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to effectively defend itself. The United States can.
Stop. It cannot beat Russia. It's over. It's over. Russia had a legitimate military incursion into Ukraine. Look at all of what they found. They found biolabs funded by the United States, Fauci and Hunter Biden. I'm gonna go to that report in just a few minutes. This stuff, they found it and they admitted to it. Victoria Nuland had to go in front of the United Nations and Congress and tell the truth. We had some things going on. It's a corrupt country on the border of Russia. Come on, man. Y'all already know the U.S. would have did the same thing. It's too close to our crib, bro. You got to bag all the way up. Or you got to be neutral, or you will be neutralized. So you can't be upset with Vladimir Putin for doing what he was supposed to do. Is that y'all got to bag up. Ain't nobody scared of y'all. First and foremost, nobody's scared of y'all. You got to incompetent. You got to, and then you got to know this for a fact. The 2020 election was stolen. That in the U.S., because of that, the United States lost all of its credibility and integrity on the world stage. This is why you start seeing all of these different incursions and conflicts breaking out. And nobody was listening to United. Nobody will hear what you talk about, cuz. Watch out. We doing our own thing. We're going to do 4 BRICS, 4 new alliances. We ain't dealing with y'all. We don't want to deal with y'all. Y'all in the way. Your domestic and foreign policy is bold. It's going to be bold when you got a regime that hijacked the White House. But in order to maintain what integrity that the United States had left, you start to see people start to switch the narrative up just a little bit. Well, this administration, they start to try to give the regime some kind of legitimacy because they didn't want to disrespect the office of president. But remember, Trump said, he was like, man, I didn't want to have to do this, but damn, y'all don't really indict me, bring lawfare against me, weaponize the government against me, dog. When the gloves are off, man, you crooked Hillary, dog. We ain't even gonna think about Hillary. Joe Biden himself is a crook. And then you start to see the laptop and all this stuff getting exposed. Remember the phone call to the Ukrainian president when he said, hey, I need you to find out if there's some corruption going on with the Bidens. But remember, Biden jumped on TV and told the whole world at some kind of foreign conference, yeah, I told him if y'all don't fire that attorney general that's investigating my son, you're not getting $1 billion. He said, well, son of a bitch. They fired his butt. He said that to the whole world. So wait. That's the same type of thing they tried to impeach Donald Trump for. And said that he did by putting pressure, he put pressure on the Ukrainian president to provide them any type of intelligence of corruption or the Bidens. Because come on, man, you think Trump don't know, as the former president that sat in the White House for 4 years, that he didn't have intelligence on intelligence? Like, he had information on everybody. He's supposed to have information on everybody. He's the president. Any type of compromising activities that could compromise our interests on the world stage or domestically, the president better know what's going on. So they tried to impeach him for that. But then Biden kind of found out it was exposed and uncovered that Biden was already doing that. That's what they was doing. They was squeezing everybody. Obama and them had their way, man. I'm telling you, everybody know it now. Look, these guys served in the Obama administration. That's why the real people know that this is Obama. This was Obama's 3rd term. So you got all the same political infrastructure from Obama's administration serving in this administration. Come on, man, cut it out. You got your VP who's the president, and then you got the cabinet heads who had already served in your administration. Come on, cut it out, dog. Cut it out. The American people ain't sleep. And we ain't woke either. We conscious. We're conscious of what's happening. But look at this jerk.
Continues to step up. We've obligated.
Look at the attitude.
As we're
See, one thing you got to do, you're going to learn how to do here is do a number of things. But number one, not number one, but you're going to learn how to read the body language. The body language going to tell me everything about this Jack's attitude, his disposition against the American people. And I can't even say, and this is the problem that we got with Zionists, right? They talk about these guys are Zionists. What does that mean? Listen, I'm Moorish. For sure. I'm Moorish American. And there's a Moorish component first. So my allegiance is to the Moorish people, my community, my family. That makes sense. You understand me? And then you got American. I'm Moorish American. So you got Zionist Americans too. It's an organization, right? But here's the thing. In the Moorish science, we are taught to enforce the Constitution, enforce the law, abide by the law, be law abiders, teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which is our 5 divine laws. Now, you got these people serving in government and with dual national or dual citizenship. So what does that ultimately mean? That means that they owe an allegiance to 2 nations. So they're serving in the United States government, and you can see how they're using or leveraging the U.S. government, its technology, resources, financing, etc., its power for the purposes of a foreign nation. See, this is the problem that we got with these people. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, it's just a fact. It's just the truth. I don't want to personalize it like it's my personal beliefs. It's just something that I observe. So you owe an allegiance to 2 nations? That got to be compromising. You got an oath to support and defend, right, the Constitution. But then on the flip side, you got an oath to support and defend another nation. So that got to be tough. So it's like, under our Asiatic covenant, say, never forsake thy own blood for a stranger. Never forsake thy own blood for a stranger. So I'm just looking at the relationships that these people might hold, because my man right here, without a shadow of any type of nothing, he like, yeah, we're going to send this bag. We sent $8 billion over there. We sent another $500 million, and we're going to send every single dime that we got at our disposal over to a lost cause. Knowing that Trump has already ended that war. He already talked to Vladimir Putin. He already talked to Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president and the Russian president. We've already started making economic moves that will drain Russia dry. All your customers are going to be our customers, homie. We got gas. We got more gas than y'all. Ours is better too. We got more natural oil, gas, all that. We got it. And we got pipelines. We got it. We're going to make our allies purchase their energy units from us, not from you or your allies, the Irans, the Iranians, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to become a competitor. We already were moving into an energy dominance capacity. What does that ultimately mean? We're a competitor now, homie. We're a competitor now. We're going to produce major volumes of energy units to Eastern Europe, to all of Europe. What you going to do? In the war. And then you Ukraine, y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all done. Y'all ain't get no more money, no more nothing. Y'all done. It's time to rebuild. It's time to make amends. Hey, here go Russian terms. Here go our terms. Here go y'all terms. This is what it is. You're not getting no more American resources. You had all the money you was going to get out of the swamp. January 20th can't come fast enough. So this joker here should have never been in office. This is what happens. Everybody talk about Project 2025. Oh, Project 2025. Project 2025 is about law, order, peace, and justice. And I can't forget love. But that's what Project 2025 is about. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Project 2020 was opposite. Have you felt that pressure? Did the cost of living go up for you? Is there plus 20 million illegals in America? Is there crises breaking out all over the planet? Is there wars breaking out? Project 2020 was about the destabilization of humanity. Starting here in the United States and all of the big governments. Everybody has had its challenges. Y'all got to wake up, man. Y'all got to know what's going on. Project 2020 was what y'all said Project 2025 was supposed to be about. Project 2020, that's what it was about. It was about racism. It was about division. It was about attacking our religion, our faith, our creed, our principles that's been guiding humanity for millions of years. That's what it was about. And it was about demonicism, demonism, democracy. That's why it was never sanctioned in the Constitution. The only form of government that's sanctioned, that's constitutionally available, is a Republican form of government. Look it up. Don't believe me. It's for the people, other people, by the people. I always get that talk. But look at this guy just one more time. Look at the demeanor of this guy. And all the DNC supporters listening. Are you guys serious? So you mean to tell me right now, the city of Pontiac, city of Detroit, the people of city of Detroit, people of Pontiac, they could have used the $8 billion? The people of Saginaw, Flint, Ben Harbor is going through a crisis. They can't use $8 billion? Or $500 million? I'm just confused on where we at on our loyalty. But this is what happens when you put in place people with dual citizenship, meaning they serving two masters. So outside of their side of their neck, they say you. On the other side, they say them. So that's a compromise. They're compromised. So you can't have people loyal to two nations. You understand me? We can be bonded through international trade agreements, but not because you was my homeboy. None of that crap they're talking about. And we don't support the killing of millions of innocent people. We don't support death, period. I think Donald Trump's greatest campaign slogan that anybody ever could have said was, I want people to stop dying. I want people, Ukrainians, Russians, Israelis, Palestinians, to stop dying. We could have had a deal done on the table, and it was nothing but a phone call, a meet and greet, terms and conditions, signatures, photos, and resources. That was it. Because we can do things economically to influence people to come to the table. And why not use that ability to create peace? It just don't make sense to me. Look at this guy, proud to get more Ukrainians killed. That's all he's doing. He's getting more Ukrainians killed every time he sends them a bag. Russia's going to blow that bag up. Then they're going to blow the people trying to get that bag. Come on, man. These are human beings with whole families, bro. It's time to make the world great again. And we can't do that with all of these dual citizenship cabinet members or dual citizen Congress members. I'm trying to figure out, do we live in the United States of Ukraine? Do we live in the United States of Israel or Israeli, the state of Israeli, the state of Israel? Do we live? I don't understand where we're domiciled. Do we do it more for everybody else when it's Americans, when we have enough problems here at home? It just ticks me off. We was looking at some numbers earlier, and I just want to point out just quick numbers I had up on my screen earlier. Let me go back and find it. Let me see if I can find it. So look at this, because my brother was talking about all the genocide that's been going on over there in Gaza. And I said, bro, you're absolutely correct. However, what about the genocide that's happening? And I don't support the genocide. I want to make that clear. I don't support the genocide. I don't support the killing of people, innocent people. If you signed up for a war, then I understand what is the consequences of being in the military or being a police force or being a freedom fighter, etc. But it's a rule to everything. And it's a rule. You ain't killing no children, innocent people or children, civilians, okay? So I just don't support that at all. And I never will support it. It's against my religion. And it's against my consciousness. But we have an issue here at home, disguised. We do a genocide here in the United States of America, and it's disguised as abortions. So we went to go get some numbers. We put up some numbers earlier. U.S. abortion rates of 2019. In 2019, the U.S. abortion rate was approximately 11.4 abortions per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44. This marked a continuation of a decline over several years, as the rate in 2010 was around 14.4 per 1,000. There were roughly 630,000 reported abortions in 2019, according to the CDC. Factors contributing to the decline include expanded access to contraception, changes in sexual behavior, and shifts in state policies regarding abortion access. Since the Supreme Court's Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization decision in June 2022, which overturned Roe versus Wade, abortion rates in the U.S. have seen considerable shifts. Data from the #We Count Project reveals that immediately following the decision, there was a sharp decline in abortion access in states with restrictive abortion laws or total bans. This led to fewer abortions overall in the states with restrictions, such as Texas and Louisiana, while states without bans like California and Illinois saw increased rates as residents from restrictive states traveled to access services. So people talk about Trump overturned or his Supreme Court appointees sent it back to the states, and they actually sent a decline in the abortion rate. So 2019, we talk about 630,000 reported abortion. These are children we're talking about too, by the way. You want to say unborn, whatever. They're children. They got their fetuses with body parts. And so 630,000. That's why I said on 2 or 3 podcasts ago, I said, shoot, we in the business of death. The United States is in the business of death. This is the United States of America. Of abortion. We finance death without a problem, without. Look at this guy's confidence. This guy's confidence is like, yeah, we're going to get some more people killed. And I started looking at how much the U.S. is involved in deaths of children. Because we want to ride our high horse sometimes, and that's okay. But then we got to realize that right here at home in 2019 was 630,000 abortions. Now, from April 2022 to June 2024, the monthly average of U.S. abortions hovered around 84,600. Now, this is the monthly average. The monthly average of U.S. abortions hovered around 84,600, dog. That's over 1 million plus children murdered a year. Virtual or telehealth abortions became more common, particularly in supportive states that introduced shield laws protecting out-of-state patients accessing telehealth abortion services. However, despite these increases in non-restrictive states, the national total of abortion did not return to pre-Dobbs level, with significant barriers remaining for individuals in restrictive regions. Excuse me. So, Tony Blinken is a harbinger of death, but you got to look at the United States as a whole. We all in on killing some children. I mean, 100% in. We're all in on it. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to look at, that's why I love the MAHA movement, to make America healthy again, the appointment, and that got people going absolutely crazy. Let me see, can I bring some of that up? But that got people going absolutely crazy right now. Oh, before I jump into that, let me go. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but it's okay. It's comments. We into the comments, baby.
It's been confirmed by independent.
Confirmed. I love how that came on. What made me say it's been confirmed? You understand me? That means somebody doing some research. Somebody doing some research. He ran around here with no propaganda. See, most of your politicians in the city of Pontiac, if not 100% of them, are propagandists. And I hope they watch it right now, because they won't come on the show and debate me. They won't come on the show and bring their facts, because they have no facts. They have none. They compromise at every single level.
That's right. In all the tens of thousands of emails from Hunter Biden's disgusting laptop, it's been confirmed by independent cybersecurity experts that Joe Biden's son was actually financing biological laboratories in Ukraine. Russian officials claimed the labs were producing biochemical weapons at the request of the Biden crime syndicate. And Moscow warned that Biden needs to explain his son's involvement with the labs.
We can confirm that the Kyiv regime is engaged in military biological programs financed by the United States of America. It's impossible these programs were used to benefit science and peace because they were financed by the U.S. Department of Defense. The Pentagon and Joe Biden must officially explain to the global community about the programs in Ukraine.
And as it turns out, the Russians were right. Hunter's firm, Rosemont Seneca, actually did invest $500,000 in the San Francisco pathogen research company Metabiota, working in Ukraine, on top of millions in additional funding Hunter secured through other firms like Goldman Sachs. Now, Metabiota is a subcontractor for the Department of Defense's engineering firm Black & Veatch. Remember that name. This is where it gets really interesting, because according to...
It's already interesting. Evidence shows Biden's firm responsible for the Ukrainian biolab. Now, I want y'all to see the connector here. One hand, you got Tony Blinken saying, yeah, we're going to send all the money we got. We just sent $8 billion, $500 million. And then we already know y'all just sent $300 billion. But the people, the hurricane victims, could only get $750. I get it. FEMA ain't got no money. Like you wonder why Trump won the election overwhelmingly. You see his shoulders up higher now? I think Trump grew 2 more inches. He got the confidence of a king because he overwhelmed. He crushed the Democrats. He crushed them like the peons they are. Go sell us out to Ukraine. You sold us out to Ukraine. You sold us out to Israel. You spending billions of dollars on another man's nation. Full of corruption at that. It should be no homelessness in the United States. It should be not one person homeless. It should be not one American citizen homeless or without food or without a car. It's a shame. The United States should be embarrassed. You got hungry people with no cars and no houses in America? But you got another 8 billion, another $500 million for somebody to get killed? Because that's all they've been doing. Everybody know around the world that Ukraine has lost the war. So you're going to send 8 billion for more coffins? For more pastors? Because who getting all the money? Whoever doing the burial stuff. So whoever building those coffins and selling coffins over there, they get rich. Every time they get Tony Blinken jump on TV, the deaf profiters are sitting there licking their chops. We got to get them out of office. I know January 20th coming. But it's a nightmare of a situation having to wait this long. Because all they ever talk about is funding deaf and more deaf. Let's go to the comments. Let's see what they say about here. What would be a legitimate reason that Hunter Biden should be involved with funding a biolab? There can't be one. I never worked in a biolab, but I doubt they demand to consult with the meth addict. Everything is turning true again. I imagine information leaks and whistleblowers would come out pretty fast now. Wow, these Bidens were in the middle of so much corruption. So the DOD was laundering money through Hunter. So you got to fire guys like Milley. Or I think Milley going to be rushed off to the military police or something they was talking about. Let's see what Susan Warren talking about. She said, I've been saying this, I guess I've been saying for years that members of my husband's family had COVID in November of 2019 when we came home to Indiana after a month in Florida. We're still waiting for charges to be brought forward and upheld. You got to have Matt Gaetz there for that. Okay, so let's get up out of there. So we know where they at. So you get the point.
In all the tens of where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because according to official documents uncovered by investigators at the expose, government funding records show the Department of Defense awarded $370,000 to biolabs in Ukraine for COVID-19 research.
But y'all keep telling me about Project 2025, man. Hey, listen, tag tag somebody who keep promoting Project 2025 in this live right here, man. Tag them in this because they got some explaining to do about Project 2020. Because if Russia didn't shoot that move that they shot, we'll still be talking about the COVID-19 pandemic right now. As soon as Russia hit their border, they stopped talking about COVID-19 altogether. It just stopped. Systematically stopped. Literally stopped. Overnight. It was no more talk about COVID-19. And it was all about Russia and Ukrainian jurisdiction going to work. And then they find these biolabs, and Hunter Biden was involved. Then they got to come out in congressional hearings saying, "Yeah, we have biolabs." Whoa, what's going on, man? What the heck is going on? Why are we in the Ukraine with bioweapons that can destroy humanity? What type of operation? And then it's funded by U.S. tax. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me, dog. The government take they so-called government take their money out your check before you get the check, dog. Come on, man. Is that what they using your? See, this is why they want you to talk about racism. What are we talking about racism? So what is this racist? I'm confused. Is this racist? Is this report has anything to do with racism? You mean to tell me we over here funding biolabs projects that could destroy humanity on Earth? That's racism, or is that some demon stuff? That's demonism. What's in your mind? What type of deal, arrangement, agreement you got? Well, what kind of being that got you in this capacity to want to destroy humanity? You're not even going to be able to enjoy the money. Everybody's going to be dead messing around with you guys. We know that AIDS was put together. These cancers was put together. Stuff ain't natural. You eating unnatural stuff in the first place. That's why Maha is probably the most greatest department. We're talking about RFK Jr. That's probably, besides the Attorney General, man, that probably was like, that was it right there. Because you got to eat. You got to eat. And this is a country where people was on some kind of prescription drug. So those two areas, we got to check that. They making a killing off killing us. I told you the United States is in the business of death. So they need you high, sick, distracted, depressed, overworked, underpaid, baby, and confused about what's happening here. So by the time you realize what's been going on, you're dead or you're about to die. That's the reality. It's like, damn, I had a stroke or this, I lost that. I only got a week to live. You know what I'm saying? So, and we losing people at 50, 60, 40. We losing them. It's incredibly alarming. Like the life expectancy continues to be reduced. Now they done made their trillions and trillions of dollars. They like, all right, we want to make some more trillions off of making you healthy now. Like, oh man, ain't this some crap? So, all right, let's get to the next story.
In November of 2019, for anyone keeping track, that's 3 months before the WHO officially even named the Chinese virus COVID-19. You can see it for yourself. It's highlighted right there. November 12th, 2019, SME manuscript documentation and COVID-19 research. The U.S. and Hunter Biden.
That's tough, dog. Excuse me. That is tough. So they mad about that appointment. Let's see what let me get out of here. Let me go to see what's up. What did Donald Trump talk about? Say John Sawyer brings terrific experience and talent to the Trump Vance Department of Justice as Solicitor General. He will be an outstanding asset to our team. Okay, let's see what Brother Donald's talking about at Byron Donalds.
Do the job that the founders intended us to do.
How do you intend to balance maintaining the independence of the Senate with passing the president-elect's agenda?
We will do the job that the founders intended us to do, the United States Senate, and that the American people intend us to do. And that right now, after this mandate election coming out of the American people, is to work with this president on an agenda that unwinds a lot of the damage of the Biden-Harris-Schumer agenda.
Well, Congressman, that sounded pretty good. I mean, he sounded like he was on board with the Trump agenda. He said it was a mandate. That's John Thune. He's Mitch McConnell's protege, and I like him a lot personally. But what is that?
Let's get real for a moment. The Senate Republican majority is Donald Trump's Republican majority.
They would not be in the majority
He's the
were it not for
reason.
Trump.
He is the reason we have a majority. It is because of Donald Trump. So I fully expect the senators to do their job, look through the law, look through all the people that get put up, but they're going to make sure that Donald Trump's agenda passes because it is the Trump agenda that the American people overwhelmingly want. It is a political mandate. It is not for the senators to decide what will they want to have happen. It's the will of the voters.
And that's what's been going on for too long. No, we going to determine. What? Whoa, cuz. Hold on, cuz. Slow down. Let's rewind this a little bit. So I voted for you. We voted for you. We all said, you know what? We like what you're talking about. We agree with that. I can relate. I want to see that happen. I need to see that happen because it's really not his agenda. It's really our agenda that was given to him to go and fulfill. That's what's really going on. I mean, he went to go talk to the American people, and we all told him the same thing. Hey, brother, get that up out of here ASAP. ASAP, get that up out of here ASAP. Hurry up. What else do we got to do to make that happen? And he like, well, I got you. Okay, that makes sense. So now you got these senators, they can't get in there and decide, well, the American people don't know what the heck they talking about. What? See, that's why this is called a republic. This is not a democracy. Everybody want to talk about democracy. What are you talking about? Democracy is when you went to go vote. That was your democracy when you spoke up and blah, blah, blah. The rule of law is the rights of the American people. That's the rule of law. So this is not a debate, though. My rights is not the American people birthrights, constitutionally protected. It's not a debate. We're not debating about that. So then one of them jokers, senators, should get up there and decide, and like Mitch McConnell would do. Oh, the American people. That's an overthrow of the Constitution. Every time you even have a thought of going against the will of the people. No, the people issued you a will. This is our agenda. Trump is just merely a messenger. What is our agenda? That makes sense to us. We want to be in a position where we economically prosperous, it's sustainable, it's a peace and safety environment, climate, it's a family oriented. You can actually grow your family here, build a family and settle here and do all kinds of things. What they call the American dream. The American dream. We have the American nightmare. Ain't no dream. We ain't dreaming. We having nightmares. We having nightmares. Overworked, underpaid, dog. What is this? You playing with the currency. The currency is losing value. It lost 22% of its value. Inflation went up 50%. Hey, man, we got crisis breaking out, which ain't really crisis. These are actually policies, both foreign and domestic. They're terrible. And it's a destabilization agenda to create chaos in order to create a new world order. And the people, not just the American people, but other great nations of people all around the world push back. We're not going to have that. Okay? Everybody believes in peace through strength because in the real world, you can't be perceived as a weak nation with weak leaders. That's usually indicated in the leadership and the growth, right? The results of all of that stuff that is required, the criteria of that. So you say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, we could take this country. So you don't want to be out there. You see Taiwan, like, look, man, even though we all know China come in there and wreck shop, we like Taiwan, like, no, man, we autonomous. We gonna make some decisions. The people of Taiwan is gonna decide the destiny of Taiwan. Y'all know I'll be watching this stuff, man. So I'm tapped in. And I'm saying to myself, you got to be strong as a people, and your leaders got to be tough as nail, but they got to be smart. They got to be wise. They got to have all of those qualities and attributes to be in the leadership capacity. You got to really do your homework on these jokers. Because that's what it ended up being, the circus and the clown show. You didn't sign up for that.
Through Donald Trump, that's what needs to happen.
All right,
How do you intend to balance maintaining the independence of the Senate with passing the president-elect's agenda?
I'm going to the comments.
We will do the job that the founders intended us.
We'll do. And I like that though. And he used the right set. That was the right group of words to put together.
We will do the.
How do you intend to balance maintaining the independence of the Senate with passing the president-elect's agenda?
We will do the job that the founders intended us to do, the United States Senate, and that the American people intend us to do. And that right now, after this mandate election coming out of the American people, is to work.
One was law, right? We will do. He went to the founding fathers, talk about the Constitution, talk about the law. Then he talk about the American people. The law, 1 and 2, 1 and 1. The law, Constitution protects the rights of the American people. Bam. So they just divided that and let you know off the first line. It's a Trump's world. It's a USA of this MAGA. The Senate is now a MAGA movement. The House is now a MAGA movement. Everybody must submit to the will of the people. You can't get away from this, man. You guys try to get away from this, man. Come back in here. Man. Byron, let's see what this guy, Byron's on point as usual. He's 100% MAGA, for sure. He should forward this to the Republican colleagues, to his Republican colleagues. With Liz Cheney, Trump destroyed Liz Cheney's career. Look at the numbers: 113,000 to 49,000. That's how bad. She had 66.3% of the vote. That he crushed. That's crushing somebody. I tell you, it crushed. Trump crushed them. They really. You got to think about this too. I'm not mad at Kamala Harris. It ain't them. It's the DNC and the stakeholders of the DNC. It's the donors to the DNC, man. It's the policies. See, these people owe an allegiance to the party if they want to represent the political party in this type of political sphere. You got to come through one of these major parties. And they own you. They own you. They own you, man. They are all these organizations. All of this, all about power and control. That's what it's all about. And wealth, money. They want to get some money. They want to control you, right? They want to have that power. That's the point of organization. It's about control. It's about power. So even if you're a strong leader, educated, wise, all of these things, if you're a part and parcel of some organization, they're going to maintain that leverage. So it's all about power and control you do with these organizations. And that's what you see it here. And the Republican Party, man, Trump took it over and crushed. Look how he did her. Crushed her. And she's a lifer. She's really a multi-generational feature when it comes to politics. And she was crushed when she went after Trump. And again, I'm not mad at them because the issue is that y'all, like the DNC policy makes it easy for y'all to lose. Not only lose, it's understandable why you would cheat. Why? Because who is going to agree with that policy? Where I'm going to send Ukraine president another hundreds of billions of dollars to a losing cause. Hey, come on, man. You got to be responsible at some point. If your cousin keep coming to you and keep needing money after he done fell off 45 times, what do you eventually tell him? You tell him no. You got to figure it out, bro. You got an issue, a personal one too. But I'm not going to keep funding your handicapness, your handicapism. You gotta make some different decisions here. And that's what should have been our message to the Ukrainians. You guys got to make some different decisions here. You're going against a situation that we all know you cannot win, because they've been saying you cannot win from the beginning, that you could not win this situation. It was going to come eventually where the Americans was going to walk away because they just can't afford it. We just can't afford funding you as a proxy. Russia won this. They're going to continue to win and control the outcome of this situation. You have no choice but to say to the Ukrainian president, hey, who's not really the president, because they are under martial law. They won't even hold elections. So we sit here talking about a free democracy, but yet they under martial law. They're not allowing any kind of elections to go on, because you know which way the people are going to vote. They're going to say you're out of here. Well, why would they say that? You got everybody killed. An inexperienced movie star gone to a politician, dog. Movie star / dancer turned into a politician, bro. And under his administration, he done got everybody blown to smithereens. And I ain't gonna really say it was his fault, because we know that because we just keep seeing these reports from congressional hearings that they just pause anyway. They're talking about these people are proxies. These are installed governments. So we got to take a look at that. We got to look at that and say, what's going on here? Why is it so of a dire need to keep sending these boys hundreds of billions of dollars? I didn't even know we had that much money. Let everybody tell it. We had 34, 35, $36 trillion deficit. So I'm just a little confused. If we owe $1 trillion in interest, hold on, let me go. Let me pull up. Excuse me. Let's take a piece of my banana. I'm trying to find the other clip. But, y'all get the point. The point is, you get the point. You go against Trump, you're going to get crushed. You're going to get crushed. These people, you see what happened to Fatty out there in, what was that, Georgia? Y'all see what happened to Fatty Willis, right? They exposed her so quickly. They say, man, she's sleeping with dog now and ruining families, and she talking about prosecuting the president of the United States. Yeah, okay. Beat her down quickly. You understand me? Because you got to be right. You got to be right. The other guy, Jack Smith, destroyed him. They had to go back and rewrite everything and try to figure out a new angle. And it didn't have a leg to stand on, which was crazy. So they were just saving face, trying to, pretend as if they were sweet and they knew what they was doing and it was going down. It was election interference, dog. We hip to it right now. We caught you. Y'all thought them fake 34 felonies was going. It didn't make it so bad. It's fake. It's all fake. It's all lawfare. It's all lawfare. It's all election interference, man. So it's amazing. What I want y'all to do right now, since we tapped all the way in, go to brotherill.com. Got the Black Friday specials out right now. Go and check us out and get with us at BROTHEREL.com or wealth@brotherill.com. Make sure y'all tap in. Join the movement. Peace.